Being a freelancer can be very stressful. I had the chance last year to meet around 40 freelancers, and they all asked me a lot of questions about contract, about proposal. But the main question was always like, how do you find work? What is your strategy to find some work?
All you wanted it was to be free, a freelancer. My name is Karla Fernandes. I am a UX UI and digital product designer and founder of the UX UI Hub app. And now you learn about the free framework, 4 key steps for you to attract leads and be fully booked. Let's welcome Edmond.
Today I'm going to deep into how to stay fully booked as a freelance without having to do any cold email. It's part of a small ebook that I have wrote. I'm a product designer since now 6 years. It's been 4 years that I'm freelancing full time. I always knew that I wanted to become a freelancer when I started to transition into design, because I always found it was so exciting to be able to basically sell your skill to people that need them, being able to be based anywhere, a bit like the freelance dream that we think of. 4 years fully booked, 0 cold emails. I started in the midst of COVID. We had a big boom, but now what is happening and everybody was struggling to find work. If you don't manage well this part of attracting clients to you, freelancing can look that it's an up and down. Yes, I got a client. Oh no, yes, I got a client. I have no one. But at the end, you are not sure. What did I do? How did they find me? I was lucky, right time, right moment. Yeah. In life, you need a bit of luck, but if you can predict that luck, that's a little bit better. Because of freelancing should be a business. So what I'm going to share with you today is my frameworks. FREE, it's an acronym for findable, reputation, everyday new opportunity, and extra safety. Findable. When I started my career as a designer, I joined an agency. So it was the 2 year I was employed as a designer, fully as a full-time employee. And this agency called UX Studio, it's based in Budapest, Hungary. When I joined there, I was struck because basically we had so many leads contacting us all the time. Our mailbox was always, hey, we need help for design all the time, all the time, all the time. And I was like, wow, it's amazing. We didn't even do prospection, no cold emails, nothing. And everything was based on a great blog that the founder of the studio has built. And I thought, this is awesome. Actually, if you build visibility, you will attract work. You don't need to do what I hate the most, which is to write a cold email. Hey, what's up? Do you need design? Because often people they don't wait for you and say, oh yeah, it's true, I need design. Usually they know when they need design, and it might not be when you're actually sending them this cold email. So that was the first thing, how you can be findable. So the first thing that is really important to understand is that today one of the biggest network that is used to find work is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is something that you can spend a few amount of time and get actually a lot of results. First of all, it's very important to optimize your LinkedIn. So I have a professional picture, high quality banner image. As you can see, you can also have like a random one like mine. I also have one like this time to time. It depends what time of work I'm looking at a certain time. A clear headline to explain what you do and a clear CTA. I'm going to come back to that in a second, but a clear funnel to actually like have people finding you, contacting you, and getting in a call with you to start working. So it's very important to have your LinkedIn optimized. I know like it sounds for some people who maybe are already freelancing, it's going to sound like something, yeah, totally it's not something exceptional that already, but actually a lot of people neglect their LinkedIn profile. And actually why it's important to have a great LinkedIn profile is that when people will look for you, LinkedIn we show the people who have the best profile and the people who are the most active on the platform. So it's already a disadvantage if you don't take that seriously. The second thing that is very important, it's actually to do a small effort to post. So I would say like it's not like you need to post 3 times or like go as Gary Vaynerchuk every day, you should work every 6 hours, super like you can also post just 1 time per week. But the important thing is to have the algorithm know that you exist. Myself, I post once per week and I have not too bad impression. I don't even check that. But what I know is that I'm getting like leads in my LinkedIn mailbox that with just posting this. So being sure that I'm always visible. It might sound like at the end of the day, it's not anymore so much a struggle because I don't think too much, oh my God, I have to post every day. I just post once a week. A quick thing that I like to post, I'm going to show you in a second. It doesn't need to be something completely crazy. It has to be about yourself, but just gaining this visibility to have people finding you for work. And another thing is the clear positioning. The second thing that is the most important, in my opinion, is your LinkedIn profile, but it's also your personal website. So as I mentioned, as a freelance, you need to consider yourself as a business. So you cannot be like, oh, it's just a portfolio that some project, not too much about you, something you would send to apply for a full-time job. It needs really to show like a brand, an expertise, a face, what you can do. All this needs to be very clear. You have to know that clients that visit your page, they're not going to even spend 5 minutes on your page. They're going to spend maybe 2 minutes. So you need to have like a clear you need to do like what a business website would do. You need to have a clear hero section, a clear call to action, easy to see some credential about yourself, and easy way to see what you can do. So that is very important. And finally, the combination of both has to be linked to somehow what we all know about, or maybe you don't know, but it's a funnel. So it's really important to have your booking funnel active. So a lot of time we hear our sales funnel, booking funnel. It sounds like, yeah, it's really like something we don't grab too much, or what is it exactly? But it's actually very simple. You need to be able to have like clear call to actions on your website where people will click and will arrive to an agenda. This agenda, they can book a call directly with you, and boom, you can already gather some information about what they want, so you can prepare that meeting. But that will be your sales call with your client. And when you are well prepared and you know how to sell, it's going to be very easy to close them. But if it's really tricky for them to contact you, if they need to send, imagine that a client is arriving on your LinkedIn or on your website, they like your profile, they write you a message on LinkedIn, then you answer, hey, I'm available, this and that, and you, and yes, and me. It takes a lot of time, and sometimes it can actually like discourage a lead to contact you. So having a strong funnel, it's very important, and the stronger it is, so if you can collect as much information as you can before the call, it's also very nice to have. For me, I use Calendly, for example, but there are many tools to connect your calendar. And so what is happening is that personally, in my mailbox on LinkedIn, I usually receive per month at least 5 or 6 leads, people contacting me. It's 5 or 6 leads for a job that is a contract job or a freelance job. Sometimes I receive also offer for full-time job, but basically I don't do anything to do that. And what I see is that I post, and usually like the next week I will receive some people contacting me, sometimes the next day that I post on LinkedIn, and they are contacting me to see if I would be interested to work with them. And give me the ability or to work with them in another way that I'm going to show in 1 second to my collective, work with them directly if I feel, okay, I actually have capacity, sounds like a nice project, I would like to go and work on that, or also like send it to other designers that I know. And so like this, you also build like a small relation with the person that was contacting you. The second part is reputation. To be findable is very important, but reputation, it's even more important. Reputation is the foundation of making sure you are a successful freelancer. Why? Because basically, if you have a good reputation, it's just gonna work like magic. You're gonna have like people talking about you, contacting you. It has a ripple effect. You cannot even imagine how powerful it can be. And also doing great work, it's even like your existing customer that actually going to come back to you to ask you to work again with them. So how to build a great reputation, make sure you deliver always exceptional work. What I mean by this is that as a freelancer, it's sometimes we can take maybe too much work, or maybe sometimes like we just deliver what the client wants. I think you shouldn't over deliver crazy and not be paid for that. It's not what I'm saying here. But I think you should always make sure that the work you have delivered was fully aligned with the client. It was great work and they are happy. That's something very, very, very important, because it brings you one of the most important things, which is testimonials. Why? Because when people will find your website, what they want to know, or your LinkedIn, they want to know, did this person work with people and these people were happy to work? Did they bring value? So that's one of the most important things I always do. At the end of a project, I'll go to see the person. I say, hey, Louis, we have worked together. If you are okay, could you write me a quick testimonial? Sometimes, for example, here we have Matthias from Tubix. When I went for the testimonial, I was like, can you write it yourself? I trust you. So you see that when you deliver great work, people are happy to work with you. I wrote the testimonial and he said, it's perfect, super happy. You can publish that on your website. So collecting these testimonials are very, very important. They give you credibility for the other clients that would like to work with you, or the leads that find your profile. And the last thing, it's also like stay in touch with the people you are working with. So that's also important, because if you did a great work, they put you a great testimonial, they are happy. There are also people that you can contact again. So for example, you see Salonki here. It's one of the leader in booking platform for hairdresser and things like that. So there was like a time where things were a bit down and I was going to finish a project. So I reached out to Tom. I said, hey, Tom, how are you doing? I really enjoyed working together last time. Is anything happening nowadays at Salonki? And he said, yeah, we want to design our app. Are you free? Yes, I'm free. I love to design your app. So building relation with clients is really, really, really crucial, but it's based on good reputation. That's what I would say. Since focusing on your reputation, over 80% of my work, it comes from repeat client or direct referral. So I never reach out. I mean, outreach is needed for people that you know already. You can give them this small contact, but it's no cold email to try to find a new client who doesn't know you. or they don't know me, they find me through my LinkedIn, they go through my website, they see who I've worked with, they see what people have said, they book a call, we have a sales call, and it works. Or it's people recontacting me that they want to work together. The next point of the free framework is everyday new opportunities. So often freelancers think they need luck. I heard a lot when I met some freelancer like, yeah, I'm not lucky, people don't find me. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, if you are so lucky, you hope to play the lottery and you win. But I think you need a bit of luck, as I was mentioning, but you cannot base your freelancing business on luck. You need, for example, what you can do is just a 10-minute daily routine on LinkedIn that I do, and that can bring you a ton of opportunities. So what I like to do is two things. So first of all, you can create your recruiter network. So every day, what I do is that I like to go on LinkedIn. I know maybe some people here they will say, "Oh, I hate LinkedIn. Jesus Christ, this is only about LinkedIn." But actually, like, it's not a lot of time you have to spend on LinkedIn. The two things that I would recommend that you do on LinkedIn is that you connect and you will go and look for recruiters. So you look for recruiters in your area. So every day I try to follow one, two recruiter in key market that I like to work on. And I just follow them. I don't add them. I just follow them that I will be sure that I see their post. And this is great because it trains LinkedIn to say, this guy likes to follow recruiters that are recruiting people in design. Okay, I'm going to show him more and more recruiters that like to recruit people in design. So I don't even look for them anymore. They just show on my page. And I'm like, do I follow that person? No, yes, boom, I click follow. And so that's great because these people, they post every single day opportunities. So it can be as a freelance. Most often, I agree, it's like contractor role. So to be a contractor, it's a bit more like close to full time, but you are still able to actually do some freelance work. It's could be closer to what we call a retainer. So you can have contract which are part-time or full-time. And so the second thing that I do is that when I have all this recruiter, I go on LinkedIn and I do a keyword search. It's also very fast. I go in the search of LinkedIn and I say, okay, contract, freelance UX UI, product designer needed. I do this small research. I filter by post and by last 24 hours. Boom. I have a list of every recruiter, not only the one I have followed, but also other ones that are looking for someone to work with. The best is when you can filter that by country, if you want that is in the same place as you, because maybe it's something you will have to go 1 day per 1 or 2 days per week at the office. So you just do that, and you have like a lot of recruiter, and you will contact them. I think I'm a good I could be a good fit for that role that you are looking for. It's a small message that you can drop them. This is not really like fully outreach, but it's something that you do also to build to get on the map of the recruiter. Because just writing a small message could be a message that is already done. You don't need to do anything perfect, but you just write a small message, and therefore the recruiter will have you on his map, and you think, okay, this freelancer was not too bad, but not for that role. I have another role. I'm going to contact him later again. Finally, the last E of the free framework is extra safety. So even though like a lot of people contact you, and even if they contact you, as I mentioned, the thing is that it's very important to build foundation, and on this foundation to build like a system. So people start to, let's say you are starting to freelance, people are contacting you more and more. This is the time where actually, and you have like a project, you feel chill. It's also the time where you should start to think, okay, what's next? So that's a very important aspect, what I was mentioning about these ups and downs. Of course, people can find you, but you also not always want that people find you and they send you like, hey, I need you to work with me on this product. Maybe it's a product you will not like, maybe a website you don't want to do, something that is not interesting. So you cannot bet everything on, people will find me and will propose me. You also want to stay a bit in control, because this is also when your freelance career feel more like, okay, actually, I'm going from project to project, but I don't like the project that I do recently, but I cannot afford to not do them because otherwise I will not have like another project. So it's great people find me, but I'm not super happy about what I'm working on. And so this is something you can change by actually creating extra safety. For example, building a collective, reaching out to other freelance product designer, telling them, hey, what's up? I'm a product designer. I like your work. I have more work that I can handle. I'm looking for people to work with me. Are you available? Or you can reach out to several designer and actually create a small collective. I did that. I created my collective. It's called Aneda. We are 2 UX researchers, 3 developers, 2 product designers, and we have made a small website. We show it as an agency. It's not always easy for people visiting the website to understand, okay, what's a collective? Are these people really working with me or not? So we build it more like an agency. But this is a business that I'm really not involved too much into, but it's generating for the 5 of us, we generate around like 400,000 euro per year. And basically, it's very good. We don't have to we work on the mission that we like. Everybody's saying, oh, I like this mission, I would like to work on it. So it's actually a pretty nice way to have this extra safety. You can also join platform. I'm on TopTal. Nowadays, I think TopTal, because of how the market is, they are not maybe adding new role, but you have also contract that have come into picture. They are really active. So joining this kind of platform that are niche platforms. So TopTal, they have the 3% best designer in the world. That's how they sell themselves. I don't know if this is true. I don't consider myself, but I mean, this is what they say. And Contra, it's also fully dedicated to design. So these are basically like great platform where you can join. And in the case of TopTal, why it's great, okay, you have a little interview process to join the platform, but then every day I receive maybe 10, 12 as a freelance designer that I could take if I want. And today I have that. It's helped me sleep better, but I barely do any because often like I see, okay, I don't have time, I don't want to do it, but it's a great safety to have. Finally, what I could recommend and something that I love personally, because I love to be involved with clients a bit on the longer term to have impact on strategic things that they are working on, is the retainer. So there is a small joke. You sleep better when your rent is paid by a retainer. I mean, yeah, to have a retainer, it's great because basically you have like this chance to have money that comes in every month. It's more predictable. Some final thoughts. So freelancing is a long game. Of course, sometimes like I don't feel like working. I don't want to take a new mission. Somebody contacted me. I know that I was finishing, sorry, like an existing mission. Somebody contacted me. I was a bit lazy. I didn't follow up. Boom, I end up without too much work. It can happen, of course. I've been fully booked, yes, but I've taken also some time off when I didn't want it to work. And so what I want, and in summer, usually, for example, if you're not booked, it's a very slow month. So the thing is that as you are a business, you should always consider a bit yourself as a business because that's what they do. When you have slow months, you should actually like prepare for your next opportunity. Should it be you strategize so you realize, okay, there is this new model, subscription as a service, design as a product, so design as a subscription, sorry, I would like to try that. You create a small website, you try to test the water, you can create content, so you can use like a slow 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to actually like create content for the next 6 months. You can take a rest. This is very important, and amongst freelancers, it's often like we don't consider that too much, but it's very important to take a creative rest that you are able to do the best work and that it also feel something you can do on the long term to freelance because as a freelancer, sky is the limit. You can take 10 missions, but yeah, it will have an impact on your health. You can create case studies. So case studies can be very important. Don't think case studies like you would apply for like a full-time position. It's small case studies that you show like who was the client, what you did for them, a small testimonial is good enough. Get some pro bono work also. We consider like if you had a year that you are happy financially, it's also a great time to think, okay, I love the small coffee in my neighborhood. There is this association or this NGO that is doing like great work. I see their website looks like crap. I want to help them. The last thing is also you can explore a product ID. So, you know, like nowadays with Lovable or a lot of different like vibe coding tools, designer, or even like if you know a developer friend, even better. As designer, we have this capacity to actually create products. So digital products, it can be a product, a small SaaS, but it can also be digital product, creating template, basically things that we not need. It's not going to be 100% passive because there is a huge work that you have to put upfront, but it's stuff that's going to basically sell without you being needed in the picture every single day. So for example, templates can be like something easy to do. Let's connect on LinkedIn, of course, or anywhere that would be the best for you. I'm happy to send everyone here the code after the call regarding the ebook. You can have it for free. And I have a small free challenge that I wanted to give you before we finish. So is the visibility boost challenge. So I mean, when I talked with the 40 freelancer when I decided to do that last year, a lot of people told me like, I don't like to post on LinkedIn. Oh yeah, of course I will post on LinkedIn, and then I'm connected with them and I never post anything. And I just wanted to show you that posting on LinkedIn, it can be whatever you want. Sorry for Julianne, I don't know her particularly, but I took this example yesterday as I was preparing the presentation because it struck me. She just posted like, I signed 2 freelance projects today. And then she started to share the message, and not really the full message, but it's very personal, it's funny. You could think, oh my God, this is cringe. Maybe it's cringe, but she got 632 likes, 88 comments, so huge engagement. And I can tell you a lot of people went to her profile to check what she's doing. So just don't hesitate. So what I'm inviting you to do, post something on LinkedIn tomorrow, ideally. Don't think too much, just start and tag me. I'm going to like it, I'm going to comment it, I'm going to repost it, I'm going to encourage you. and basically be creative, be yourself, be a designer and think about something great to post. Show ideally like something when you had something maybe when you had an impact, if it's something about work. Share your work just to share your work. Share whatever you want, but do something that really like is it's looking like you. And I will pick three freelancers based on the people who tag me, and we can have a small coaching of 4 weeks. So each week we're going to go through one of each step where I can coach you, and of course like answer any question you might have more than just like these four elements that I've shared. If you have any question, any problems that you had with clients, happy to help you with that. And yeah, that's basically the end of the presentation. Thank you. Sorry, I saw there was a lot of comments. I didn't know if I had to stop, but yeah.
What's the deadline for your contest?
So you're right. We need a deadline. Let's say next Friday, 24th of October. Yeah.
24th of October. Let's see who is posting. I have some questions here for you. Let's start with Maya. Maya asked, isn't it like a registered business on the side of freelancing?
Yes, that's correct. So at the beginning, it was, hey, let's work together. And then as it grew, we had to register it as a real business. So today it's registered as a business. It's based in Luxembourg. It's where I grew up and where my friend I started the collective with is from as well. So yes, it's a registered business. Obviously, it doesn't need to be that way. We decided to go that way, but at the beginning, it can really be like a WhatsApp group, a Slack group. Let's build a small page together. Let's publish it. We share the cost of the domain. We share the cost of the Webflow or whatever you use to build the website. And that's it. And leads come in and we discuss, hey, do you have time? I have time. I can only do 20%. You can do 80%. We share the money. So yeah, it's just about like, let's build a collective force. You attract maybe a project, you don't have time. I attract maybe something, and step by step, as you grow, like, yeah, it grows with you.
And I believe in this case is also that everyone has a set of skills that you can complement each other depending on the project, right?
Absolutely. We have a guy which is a Python developer that not me, not my other designer, we know anything about. So yeah, exactly. Sometimes we usually like how it's happening. We have a new project. The person will say, I need to build something in a specific language we don't know at all. Hey, do you have a friend who know that? I don't know. Do you have one? Oh, I know someone who knows someone. And so yeah, that's basically how we do. If that person is free, is great. It can be a bit stressful at the beginning because the client will say, you haven't worked with that person. It might be hard to trust them, etc. But yeah, it's just like you go, and that's a bit the freelance, like when a company hires someone to work for them, they don't know. They trust what they did before, but maybe they don't. So ultimately, you will have a great friendship and someone to add to your collective. And if it's not too good, well, you solve it. You go on Upwork, you find someone who can do that for the price you have agreed. And yeah, that's a bit like you do a bit an entrepreneur would do as a freelancer would do to find to fix it. But don't worry, usually it goes well.
Great. So Christina is asking, I was just about to ask about templates. I was thinking about that recently for some later passive income.
Yes, templates is great. I mean, I haven't done it. I thought about it many times, but probably I was a bit lazy because I think if you really love to create and I mean to design some ideas, then like you are good at Framer, you are good at Webflow, maybe you are learning these. I think it's a great source of income. Also, you can see some trends. There was a moment, for example, everybody wanted to do design as a subscription, and was seeing everybody was looking like for a great template to actually like sell these services. And yeah, I think it can be good. I would say like the best is to try. The only thing that is a little bit, difficult is that sometimes you need to publish several templates before you are accepted as a template designer. For example, Webflow, you need to have at least 3 active projects. So it depends. But you can build template anywhere. You can even build template on Figma, on the community. If you build a great template, you can have them on your website when people find you. So it can be a great source of income. And again, as every source of passive income, you will have to put a lot of work upfront. So maybe, I don't know, you're going to spend 2 weeks when you're going to say, okay, I take no client project. I'm going to do 4 or 5 templates. And then the thing is that when this template will be live, maybe you're going to be at the beach and you're going to say, hey, somebody bought my template for $60 and step by step. And then, yeah, it's accumulate without you having to do anything. So it can be good.
Cool. So Martha is asking, what are your thoughts on targeting a niche as a freelancer? It is something you would recommend. This would mean to create content that is targeted to a specific niche, creating case studies for that niche and so on.
So it's a great question. I think to niche down, it can be very valuable. So if, for example, I would say it depends. A great answer of a designer, of course, but it depends. If you really enjoy something particularly, let's say, I don't know, you have a passion for yoga, you have a passion for something very specific, or I don't know, a sport coach, I don't have a specific idea, or like startup into a very specific niche. Yes, it can be great to niche down because basically going to become an expert in that domain. Every case study, every recommendation will be in this small bubble that you are creating. So to niche down, it can be great to attract like very specific clients and to grow. I would definitely think if you want to become like a six-figure freelancer today, I mean, niching down, it might be the first thing that you can actually like look into. It's a great strategy. After myself, I never decided to niche down because I was too interested into many things. Maybe I get too bored with one specific topic, so I decided I didn't want to niche down. At one point, I wanted to niche for startup, and what I did, I contacted incubator, letting them know, hey, I'm basically specialized in helping startup. So that was my first niche, and it kind of worked for a while. I had like more like startup clients. But as I gained this visibility online, also I was lucky enough to be contacted by very different type of business, and that like helped me to build that kind of profile. But I think to long story short, you cannot go wrong by choosing first a niche and like pushing that niche. It's not something that's going to have a bad impact if someone wants you to work on something else.
Muhammad is asking, what's your process for balance business rules with user experience in enterprise software?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, there is always a kind of trade-offs because when you are working for an enterprise software, depending the size, of course, of the company you are working with, you cannot always like deconstruct everything and rebuild it the way you want. So you need to there is often like a budget associated with what you're gonna build to understand what you're gonna actually like, what's the value also you're gonna bring, and some you need to make sure that you have the business and you are well aligned with the business and you do the maximum you can to make sure that the experience is fitting what the user wants. And usually what is happening, and unfortunately in enterprise software, we don't make a generality, but when I see my UX researcher friend, there is less and less UX research that is happening. And this is very important. Always like test your design, making sure like it's intuitive to use. Be the defender of the user so that if you feel like, okay, that's a quick win, but it's a crap experience, you have to defend it. If it's a quick win, but it's a crap experience, but your solution is going to take 6 months to build, of course, they're going to tell you, thank you, no. So you have also to be clever. Try to find ways. Hey, what if we do maybe like we implement that way first and then you build on? So I think always in enterprise software, always have your front-end engineer and your PM as your great friend and always try, like to find compromise. It's very important. But defend, I would say, as a designer, you have to defend the user. That's your primary goal. So yeah, it's a trade-off. Sometimes you cannot do the vision that you would love, but you can find ways that kind of work. And I could go further into that. Often when you are in enterprise software, you also work with this robust design system. So you also have this limitation that you have to deal with. But it's a bit of all that you have to consider, but always try to make the best of the experience and not just say, the front end told me no, then whatever. Take this. It's the worst experience, but nobody's listening to me. Always try to motivate why you want to do something for the user.
And Amon is saying, which is better, CTA, mail or call? And then the second question is, what content do you post other than your work?
All right, yes. So the best way, I would say it's the CTA that is bringing to a calendar to book a meeting. So it's great to have a contact form on your website. I don't have one anymore, but I think it's something you can have because some people, they might first want to tell you what they have in mind, and then maybe talk with you when you answer them. Not everyone is super happy to jump in the call directly with you because it takes time also. So it's great to have like a small contact form, and it's great to collect as much as you can in this contact form. Like maybe ask already the client, okay, you can have a small drop down. What's the budget estimation that you have for your project? Collect all the information that are also important. And when they contact you, then you can propose a call if you feel it's a good fit. It's good for you and for the client because also sometimes the client will write something and he will say, I don't know, they want you to design this adult website that they have in mind. You're like, no way, I don't want to do that work at all. So you don't have to jump in a call and have this awkward conversation. So that could be like, it could be good to have both. A clear CTA, I would say the CTA should bring into a call, and you could have a contact form on your website for message. Because mail, it can be a bit tricky. It's going to open, sometimes it's opening the iMail of your own computer. So you want to think about a flow that is like very easy and require few click. Book a call, it's always great because now the calendar integration is very easy. It's integrated with your calendar. you can define the hour you are available, and so people can just book with you, and that's very, very easy. They can put also some details of why they are booking with you. In my opinion, it has always worked really well. I would sometimes wake up and say, oh, I have two booking, and yeah, so they book without me having to talk before. So yeah, I would say both, but in these two ways.
And Martha is asking, what's the best approach for structuring price and revenue sharing when collaborating with a web designer on projects that include both UX design and web development? So I think she is thinking about this project of yours, for example, that you are collaborating with others in collective. How do you split the pot?
Yeah, so it depends. I saw that I have my good friend Lakner Gabor, which is in the call with who we have actually, we work also together a bit as a collective. So if you can do both, it's quite easy. So if you can do the design and you can do the development, then I mean, that's not a question, of course. But for example, yeah, I used to like Webflow, but now I'm bored of Webflow. So sometimes I have to find Webflow developers. So how you do the revenue sharing? What is happening is that first, you're going to have a call with the client, have a clear scope of what needs to be done. Then you sit down. Usually it's great to have the call also with the developers because it's going to think, okay, they need like this specific feature, they need the login, they need this. So it's going to be able to estimate like, what does it mean. So you have a call with the client, ideally together. Then you sit down and you're going to estimate together how much time it would take you and what you would like to be paid to do that job. Based on that, then you will build the proposal for your clients. So you should always agree together before what will going to be the repartition of work, and after like send the proposal with the price that you agree, and then you're going to share it. I mentioned Gabor because we had like several websites we did together. Sometimes he had more time. We agree on the pricing, but then he had more time than me. I had more time than him, and we discussed along the way, hey, I don't have too much time to do it. Is it okay if we do 70-30? And so that can happen also. Just to say it's not written in the marble, but as every work, I would advise you always agree beforehand on what you want to get from this project. Don't go into, yeah, let's do it. Just send the proposal. I'm with you. And then you see the proposal, what, 2,000 euro? Me, I will only get 300, but I have to do all that. So just always make sure you agree.
Love that. Maya is asking that she's saying actually that she met graphic designers about collaboration, but still didn't do anything because she was scared about German bureaucracy. She was thinking about the contract and other things. I lived in Germany before, and I would start things just like Edmond said, start it on the side, do a word of mouth, right? But what would you say, Edmond?
Regarding contract with end customer, German bureaucracy, I don't know too much about it, but I would say that in your proposal, it's very important to have at least terms of services that gonna give like a legal structure to the collaboration. So even if you go through a platform, TopTal, Upwork, you don't need to care too much about it. They will handle it. But if you directly work with a final client, I would recommend even at the start to always have like a small term of services. Doesn't need to be a big contract reviewed by a lawyer, etc. But make sure that you clarify what is included in the scope, that something that would go out of scope would need another proposal accordingly. Clarify like your structure of payment. If you want to be paid 30%, 50% in advance, and then 50% at the end. So sometimes you don't need, like me, I work a lot with a Luxembourgish company. And when I was working at UX Studio, we also send like, at UX Studio, we send like a crazy contract. Leads, they would tell me like, Edmond, I just wanted to work with you. I didn't want to become a lawyer because they had to read this 20-page contract and they were freaking out. So I wouldn't be able to say, is there a specific regulation in Germany? If there is, I think like today with ChatGPT, you can like have a term of services that would actually like fit what is the minimum required for working with German clients, and just make sure that you have everything in this term of contract that is protecting you, meaning like you're going to be sure you're not going to do more work than needed for free, and you have your term and service, you have your payment structure that is there, and every little item that you can think of. I think what is very important, sometimes we rush and clients are in a rush, they want to see that contract. Take like one more day and focus, okay, I'm going to structure, I'm going to think, today we have the luck to have ChatGPT. You don't need at the beginning. When I started, I was contacting my lawyer. Hey, I had this draft of contract. What do you think? He would answer 3 days later. I would have correct everything. Then I would change it. And he would invoice me money for that. So today, or you can do that once, check with a lawyer friend or a lawyer you have for a small amount of money, or use ChatGPT to do it. In my case, I do very simple term of services that I back me on every aspect of the project, and I never had a problem. So even once the client was like, hey, we discussed that you promised to do the responsive work, and we didn't, and it was not in the term of services. It was not in the scope of the contract of the proposal that I sent. So that was so yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe some
just
people.
adding to that again, I would say that in Germany, the one good thing that you can do to also protect yourself is for you to have this liability insurance that they offer. Is not really expensive. You can get at a company online like Adam Rees, for example, and you don't really need also to have a corporation or a
Um,
business created. So you can use your
VAT
own
number.
ID, exactly, your own ID until I think I'm not sure of the numbers, but you have a limit there for you to be a freelancer without having a company registered, and you can
Oh,
do
okay.
that. So I think Edmond just gave you a bunch to work with, create your own terms of service. I tell you, for this 20 years, I have used contracts 2 or 3 times in my life. All the rest was really emails exchanges with specifications of scope of work, what would be done, when it would be delivered, and I think that works very well.
Yeah.
So Nikita is asking Edmond 3 questions here, which you summarize. The first one is he is asking, do you think the Figma community is good source of leads? And the second one is that what you think about these new platforms like a Contra and Brain Trust. Have you used them? Would you register in a premium or buy a premium access just to be located differently from other designers or other freelancers?
Yes. Sorry, can you just remind me? Yeah, the Figma community. I don't know if the Figma community is the best source of lead. I think it's great to meet designers, and definitely it can be that designer will actually like by building a network of designers. It's always great because, as I mentioned, you can like have the foundation of a small collective starting. But I would say you will have more chance to find leads rather joining startup events, meetups of like something you are interested in. If you need to go to a physical event, so that might be actually a bit better. You can like have to look into your city, what is happening. Here in Hungary, we have Startup Hungary every Monday, so you can meet like startup founders, speak with them. I mean, for example, I don't want to say anything wrong here, but I mean, the designer of Lovable, I know that he was already investor into Lovable, and then he meet them again in a fair, and they decided that okay, well, you go to work as a designer for them. Well, I don't know if you will ever watch this. Maybe it's not true, but what I read, though. So I would say like don't only meet other designer. This is your comfort zone. Go to meet people that actually might need you for actual work, and do both. And meet people, your center of interest. I've talked about startup. It can be anything. If you like to do, I don't know. I come back always to this yoga example. If you like to do yoga, don't hesitate to let every people you meet know that, or the instructor, that you are a web designer. If you want to redo your website, every meeting is an opportunity. And the second thing about platform, I would say for platforms, it's tricky because when I joined TopTal, and I'm really happy I joined TopTal, it's bringing me a lot of leads. I haven't tried Brain Trust, I haven't tried Contra. I have signed up, and then I was starting to do like my portfolio on it, and I was like, oh, it's really annoying me. I don't want to continue. So I think it's great to test them. If you feel, oh, I don't have any source of lead now, I don't know where to get work, yeah, test them. If there is a premium, maybe like take the premium for 1 month just to try a bit how it looks like. And you can do your own opinion about it. Don't hesitate also, like on Reddit, you have a lot of designers sharing their opinion on this kind of platform. You can also discuss with them. Maybe they have done that before you. But I would say like it's important to try. What is sure is that you try them and then you select. If you feel one is not good, then don't keep your premium and wait that something will magically happen. I did that on Dribble Pro. It was nothing like it brought me never anything. So yeah, but it's great. It's a chance today to have also this platform. So it's great to try them, even though I haven't tried them fully, but I'm happy they are there. I mean, it's a great thing to try.
Someone asked here about Top Total, you have Upwork, you have Contra. The biggest thing I saw in these communities is that, yes, you get in, you even pay maybe to be featured, but you still have to do proposals, offers, search
Yes,
for the job, and so on.
that's true.
Is there something that is better than that?
Yeah, it's to apply a bit like what I mentioned. Basically, the thing is that when you are on this platform, you are also ultra dependent of the platform. So if TopTal doesn't manage to attract enough people to post about job, then you are in trouble because there is no job out there. And I see a lot when I'm in TopTal. sometimes I see other designers, they are freaking out. Oh, the rate is not enough for what the work I would like to do. And or there is no work right now. What is happening? Almost like TopTal own them something, but well, it's a wrong way to think. You should think, okay, TopTal is a plus. That's why I say try this platform because it's a plus for you as a freelancer, but always have this multiple source of leads. And that's why I mean, like, to be on LinkedIn and to publish is great because on LinkedIn you have the vast majority of the workforce of the planet or people looking for or every company has a LinkedIn profile. So yeah, that's where you're going to find. And LinkedIn, you're going to be the master of your destiny out there. But on TopTal, you cannot do anything except as you mentioned, Karla, they're going to tell you, hey, I think you would be a good match with this client. And you have to write like a small pitch and everything. It's great again. And I love TopTal. I'm really happy to be part of it. But when I see these other designers that are complaining that they have no work in TopTal and why TopTal is not serving them better, I think if you think like that, then you're going to be only a designer that is basically going from project to project. And during the slow months, you're going to be angry, lost, and not happy about your situation. And that's not happy. That's not a great way to be.
Totally agree, Edmond. And you spoke about retainers. We had a hub meet last week that was about productized services. Another question from Sen. You talked a little bit about the regulatory session on these contracts. Can you expand on that?
I talked about the term of services. Yes. Usually on my contract, it's like 10 bullet points that are always the same. And they are very light. It's again structure of payment. It's again the fact that the scope is mentioned in the proposal and everything that is out of the scope is not going to be considered in this work and going to be another proposal. If the client has mentioned that they have the material regarding content, imagery, all that things, it's going to be on them and it's mentioned there. But also, like sometimes if the client is ghosting you and he had this crazy deadline, like, yeah, in 4 weeks or 3 weeks, I want the thing to be live. And then for 1 week, it disappeared. So it's also mentioned there that if it's not responsive, it's going to have an impact. So it comes with time to think. I mean, at the end of every project, you're going to think, this was not so good. I'm going to add something else. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like really, I would say, as you say, Karla, it can be an email because it's good sense stuff just to always think to protect yourself. What I mean by that is never take a big risk just to sign a client. It's not worthy. You think like, they will never accept that. I'm afraid to put this. No, you will be afraid when they come at you and they ask you stuff like that you didn't agree there. Take your time and just prepare some light but terms and condition at the end of the proposal. Also, at the end of the proposal, it doesn't feel like a heavy contract. Just feel okay. There is this standpoint at the end. It's like agreed by yourself, the client, and that's it. You can always put them out in case there is something because I also tell you don't worry, it doesn't go to court or whatsoever. You just say, hey, but you sign here. So what are you talking about? And usually it's enough to stop any argument. So.
I agree. Be thinking of your customer like you think of yourself, right? Like protect yourself, give them the best you can, and that's it.
And I see what Nikita was putting just to say that, yeah, sometimes clients will also say like, we only agree to do that way or that way. If it doesn't fit you, you have the right to send them like your version of what you think it should be. Don't be afraid again. Don't accept something that they say just because they say it. You need to be comfortable also with what you read there. So yeah.
Thank you again, Edmond, to join us.
Thank you. I hope I brought you value, everyone. And yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. Absolutely. Thank you.
It was great to have you here again. Bye.